Hi everyone. Today we have Kiranmayi Lakshmi Satya Gandham with us. She's a project manager with Infosys, who is also a solution architect. She recently had a transition into AI, switched into AI, and she's here to speak all about her AI journey. So, Kiranmayi, can you just tell me what's your AI journey so far?
Hi, thanks for having me on this and giving me this opportunity. I now have like 15 plus years of experience. That's my overall experience, and I have started as a fresher, and I have been working with Infosys for the past 15 years. And I have always been working from the starting on Oracle ERP. I have worked on multiple modules within Oracle ERP and as a techno-functional consultant. And then now in the past 2 3 years, I have now shifted towards AI. Like I have started reskilling myself, and then now started working on AI technologies. So I have attended internal reskilling initiatives within Infosys, as well as the W Square RT program from NASCOM, which is the Women Wizards Rule Tech. So this was a 1 year, uh, long program. I attended it in 2019, and then I kind of had the passing out in 2020. Okay, so that was my journey, my reskilling journey.
I want to mention that we had a very great conversation before we recorded. And you were explaining to me what were your key motivations for you to get into AI. So, can you explain that?
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, as I said, it was on multiple levels of why I wanted to get into AI. So, I have been working on Oracle EBS for the longest time, but then when I started kind of reading about AI and then kind of attending some of these sessions around that, so it was very interesting. Whatever what we can actually do using AI technologies. So that is one reason why it motivated me to take up kind of try to reskill myself. It's also because I while I was working on ABS also, I always preferred challenges. I was always learning something new in that. So once I have worked on one of the modules, I wanted to work on something else. So I always like challenges in my work, and so that was also one reason. Like I wanted to challenge myself. After all these years working on one particular technology, okay, from that moving to something else is obviously a sort of risk, but it was also a bigger challenge trying to convince myself that yes, I can do this, and also kind of trying to build myself around this, okay, especially when I had this full-time job, and I have a project, and since I'm in a senior role, I have a team to take care of. There are daily deliverables, and there are different set of expectations from my organization. So along with that, taking out some time on a daily basis, learning on the weekends, and it's not just about learning. I also strongly believe that you need to have hands-on experience. You need to be actually working in that whatever is the skill set you're building. Okay, so trying to take out the time, you know so it was challenging, but I think it's very interesting as well. Okay, uh, so yeah, that was the whole motivation, and I think right now is the best time to get into these digital skills and digital technologies, when I think within India, even our government is kind of gearing very much towards digital space. Okay, digitizing everything. That's what we have seen in the past few years. Even globally, also, I think all the organizations now understand the importance of why they need to get onto this digital space, right? And I believe there is a huge gap in the number of professionals who are available. So there is a lot of demand, but there are very less people who are kind of available, who are ready to take up these roles. Okay, so I believe this is the right time to get into any of this, not to miss the opportunity. Okay, So that was the whole idea behind reskilling.
I know it's a being a project manager in a reputed organization like Infosys. You have to handle a lot of things, and considering you have a personal life on the other side, family life. What are the biggest obstacles and challenges you face when you switch to AI?
Okay, so first of all, it was like kind of convincing myself that I'll be able to do this. I'll be able to take this up. Okay, so it's obviously a risk, and a lot of people wouldn't want to shift gears somewhere in the middle of their careers. Okay, so it was kind of convincing myself that I can kind of learn something new completely, and then I'll be able to work in that. But at the same time, I also need to kind of, as you mentioned, take care of my current job and all that. So obviously balancing it was a definitely a challenge. Okay, uh, trying to kind of work on whatever are my current project deliverables, and also try to learn here, and then uh, balancing not just time but also my efforts between that. It was so that would be the first challenge. The next challenge would be to convince people that yeah, I am good at whatever I have learned. I'll be able to deliver in these new technologies. Okay, so that is also it's like I'll have to learn, I'll have to showcase my talent in that, and only then people would be convinced. Okay, because when I go and tell someone that I have over a decade's experience on a certain technology, but now I'm working on something where I'm as good as a fresher, right? Though I carry my experience of handling something else, but still, to convince people, I'll have to be kind of, doubly sure of whatever I'm doing, and I should be more than perfect in, whatever I'm working on. Okay. So it was a challenge, but I think I was also lucky that at the same time when I was kind of looking at how I can reskill myself, I came across this W Square RT program. So it's not like I just need to struggle myself. It's a comprehensive program of 12 months, and there is a website where you can go and learn. So there are resources, there are mentors, there are like multiple sessions. So I think it just all worked out uh, well at the right point. Okay, so I'm that way lucky, and I think I also try to grab that opportunity. Like once an opportunity is there, instead of just thinking whether I'll be able to do it or not, I also try to grab the opportunity.
I want to ask you something. You mentioned previously also to me that the support you got from your organization was one of the crucial facts. Can you
Yes.
help me how the Infosys support reskilling, and especially I think you mentioned about a Women in Tech program within the
Yes.
organization. Can you tell me how that program helps employees like you?
Okay, so we also have internal initiative called Women in Technology, what we call the WIT. So this is for women employees across all the locations for Infosys, all the India locations as of now. So this started somewhere around mid 2018. Okay, and so this is kind of a completely very comprehensive program, and there is senior leadership who are monitoring that, and for each of our internal domains and within our internal practices, we have designated people who are very senior people, and who can guide us. Okay, so we have mentors, so each of us have a one-on-one mentors assigned. Okay, so there is a mentor who is always kind of looking at the progress that we are making. Then there are training programs, there are in person. I mean, before the COVID situation, so in 2018 and 2019, we had in-person training. Then we also have an internal portal where you have all the training resources available, and there are also initiatives like small projects, like uh, small solutions that can be developed. Okay, so we have this is a complete program that is running, and this is especially for women in, like probably with 8 years, 10 years, and 15 years, like probably anyone above 8 years experience, sort of. Okay, so we already had this program, and while we started this program, at the same time we came across this NASCOM program also. So our mentors, whoever were mentoring us for the WIT program, they also encouraged us to take up the NASCOM's program as well. So there is always a person, a senior person who is available, and who is like, you can always approach them. It's not like a monthly event or anything. You can always approach them for any sort of guidance you want, be it technical or even on a personal level. Like, they'll guide you on how you can kind of go about this program. Okay, so having a mentor was a great it was a great benefit for me, because my mentor has actually, it's also like looking at a role model. Okay, so they are also kind of going through some of these programs. So someone who kind of works for like 12 to 14 hours, who are in a very senior leadership roles. Okay, so if they are able to kind of spare some time for this learning, it also kind of motivates us. Okay, and so wherever there is some training program, they keep on nominating us for those external training programs, or they get external trainers into the organization and they train us. Okay, so there is a review program that keeps on happening, and then we have awards. For every half year, there are awards in multiple categories for mentors and for mentees, and the unit which is doing this. That's also kind of to appreciate and reward the people who are going a step above than others, right? So yes, that kind of helped, having a mentor and having a rewarding system in place. It also helped immensely.
You mentioned before about two programs that help you the most, apart from Infosys internal training, the Square RT and Future Skills program. So, how can someone similar to you, someone looking to make this transition, use these resources?
Okay, so this NASSCOM's W Square RT, the Women Wizards Rule Tech, obviously it's for the women, employees in the leadership roles, and who are interested in learning any of these new age technologies like AI and IoT and big data analytics, cyber security, robotics. So there are multiple sections within that, multiple technologies that people can choose, and it's a complete 12-month program where the organizations can nominate their employees for that. So we have like Gurukul sessions, which are dedicated sessions for whatever is the technology that you have chosen. Like I have chosen AI, so I have people coming in and training us. It's actually teaching us on whatever is the technology that you have chosen. But people can also kind of attend other sessions. Like it's open for us to maybe me being on AI, I can still go ahead and learn on IoT and RPA and other technologies. And what I also understood during our passing out ceremony is, it's not just for IT people. Like we are from IT, so we are from programming and coding background. But I have also met people from banking background, and people who are like completely non-programmers. Okay, but this program is the W Square RT program is designed in such a way that it caters to people who are completely new to these technologies, who want to start from scratch, at ground zero level. Okay, and there are mentors even in this program who are available. So there are technical sessions, then there are sessions for soft skills, to about business value, like how you approach a business problem, or how you, so there were even for, because it was for women employees, on the work life balance. So there were sessions for work life balance as well, where people like VPs and presidents of organizations, women who are already in a very senior levels, coming and giving us their inputs on how they balance their work life with their families and kids, and all the responsibilities. Okay, and then there were hands-on programs that were available. There are labs that were available. Then there is also this future skills portal, which is kind of available for us to kind of explore and to learn at our own pace. So it's like we had a training by a trainer driven sessions, and also go back and learn from the portal. Okay, and since it is like spread across 12 months, so even if on a certain day, if you're busy or if you're held up with something, you need not worry on that. I think a lot of sessions are recorded, and you can always go back to the recording. You can always go back and replay, and if you have missed out on something, or if you want to catch up on something, since it's like a long program for 12 months, you can still catch up on that. Okay, so I think in that way it also helps women because if on some day you're held up or you're busy with something, you don't need to worry. You can still go ahead and complete the course at a later point.
So, what are your interests right now in AI? What are the areas you are focusing on? What is the work you are currently doing in terms of AI?
Okay, so when I started learning AI was only just the basics and the foundation of it that I was learning, because it was a completely new area for me. So the initial part was last 1-2 years. It was only about learning the basics and trying to understand how it works. Okay, right now I'm kind of looking forward, at least in this year, to look at more complex problems and more complex algorithms, and the next stage of things like deep learning and more complex neural networks, solve problems around this, and probably whatever are the solutions I have worked earlier, maybe try and kind of fine tune them. I think in AI that's what you do. You keep working on your data sets, try to better your algorithms. Okay, and I'm also kind of trying to reskill myself on this quantum computing around quantum mechanics, which is kind of the which I hear is like something more advanced and probably a technology for tomorrow. Okay, but so that's what I was mentioning, that even before you can learn something today, I think there is something else that is already coming up in the technology space. Okay, so this whole training and reskilling is a continuous process. You need to keep skilling yourself, keep yourself up to date if you want to be kind of work on any of these new age technologies. Okay, so that's what I'm looking forward in this year.
You mentioned a little bit a while ago about work-life balance. So how, and I know as a project manager, you'll be working at least 10 to 12 hours, or I know I expect you will be working 12 to 14 hours a day, and then you have to find your time to do your learning. So what is the role your family played? How supportive was your family when you took up this big challenge for yourself?
Yeah, obviously. So only when you have, a lot of support, as in I'll say a complete ecosystem you need to have, especially for women in our country, like, a lot of expectation, from the family and from the your organization. But I think I had been pretty much lucky on that front, and maybe that's the reason why I'm able to kind of, along with working on my, the whatever are Oracle ERP, I'm still able to kind of go and learn something, because yeah, one, it is the family support. Like whenever I want to take up something, obviously they're always there to support me. Support as in, like, it's like on a daily basis, right? It's always about the very balance sort of thing. Like, once on one day your family needs you, on one day your organization needs you. I think you should always kind of try to balance that. So that's always there. The family supports in a great way. But even the organization, for me, Infosys had been a great support from the starting.
That's the
So
other
my
family.
Yeah, it's always like second family. I think only when your organization also supports you equally, only then, especially for women, you'll be able to kind of succeed in your careers, and you can even dream of doing something. Okay, so it's the managers in the current project where I'm working. They need to support me. Like on some day, if there is something else I have to attend to, they have to support. Then my mentors, okay, so they have been so even on days when I'm not so confident, or if I'm feeling low, or if I'm feeling a bit doubtful about myself, they are the ones who always kind of encourage me and give me that support. So there is always that constant appreciation. Then there is constant rewarding. There is also giving those opportunities, right? So once I say I have learned AI, someone should be giving, trusting me and giving me, work around that, right? So now that you have trained on this, I'm giving you this project, and come work on this. So that was always there. Okay. And Infosys generally also always supports people and encourages people to reskill. Okay. So we have like hundreds of initiatives within the organization, and I believe everyone right now are like very much encouraging people whoever are trying to learn these new age skills. Okay, so from the family or from the organization or even within NASCOM, when I was interacting with people. So the more you interact, the more you ask questions, there are more people who are willing to kind of come and help you. Okay, it's all about you asking people for that help, you approaching people, and so it had been overall the complete people around me, they were the reason I am able to kind of go and reskill and get into a new technology.
I have a very final question, and I think this will be a very important question as well, because when you said about your journey, people can point out you have the support from your organization, your family, skilling ecosystem you were able to access. But what is your advice to someone who may not have the access to the same resources, but who is hesitant to get into AI? I mean, especially women. There are many people who has the self-doubt, men or women, like you pointed out. Can I learn at this age? I've been out of college for a long time. Will I be able to create a career out of it? I mean, everyone won't be able to accomplish the same level of expertise like you have done. So, what is your advice for all these people with the self doubters? I will say.
Okay. See, I'll tell for women as well as for others, because I keep getting these questions even from the men in my team who are like the junior folks. Like lot of people are like, once you get into a certain technology, people are skeptical whether can we get into something else, can we learn something. I think there is no restriction or no end. Like when you want to get into, I think it's more about you being ready and being confident about yourself. And as I mentioned before, I think some years back, probably the amount of support and resources were very less. But now, the moment you just have your laptop or desktop and an internet connection, you can just explore the world. Like you can just sit here and you can take, an online, even a degree or a postgraduate degree from some reputed, university in the US or the UK or anywhere in the world, like wherever you want it. I think that was not there some 10 years back or 20 years back. Okay, now you can kind of, it's only like you'll have to decide and you'll have to pick whatever is right for you. You need to have that patience. Obviously, like today, if I just start on AI, I'm not going to be a expert in a month. Okay, it will take some time. It took me like 1 or 2 years, and I'm still learning. Right. It's a kind of a continuous journey, and tomorrow there'll be something else, and you should be ready to learn that. Okay, you should always have that attitude that you're open for challenge, you're open to anything. Okay, you need to have that patience. Okay, and then you also need to kind of have that ever learning thing. Okay, and I keep telling my team also, like every one of us have the same time, all of us have, and probably the more you're progressing in your career, your responsibilities keep increasing. Okay, so when you're a fresher, obviously you just need to do your work, but once you become a project manager, you become a delivery manager, you become a president, you are like responsible for 100 more people or 1000 more people, right? But then it's the same time. Okay, so you'll have to kind of look at what I want out of this. Okay, do I want to just work on this, or do I want to get into something new age technologies? Okay, if you want to do that, probably start with like 15 minutes of your time every day, 30 minutes. You can keep increasing that, and probably in 1 or 2 months, you'll realize that you can spare that time. Okay, probably instead of on a weekend, maybe you can take 1 hour time. You can spend the rest of the time with your family. You can still enjoy. You can still travel and all that. But I think you still can take out that time. And now we have resources. So a lot of organizations and a lot of these learning sites, they provide free training now, right? A lot of courses are available, even from our IITs and all. There are so many free courses. All the senior professors are kind of delivering this stuff. There are initiatives in the organizations, like in Infosys we have a lot of learning initiatives, we have initiatives from NASCOM. So there are a lot of such programs that are available, and we also have a lot of people who are ready to mentor you. Sometime back you may not have the concept of a mentor. Okay, but now you have mentors who are ready to kind of help you out. It's only about you need to take that time out. You need to make the decision of what exactly I want to do in my career. Okay, and then you need to plan accordingly, and then kind of just go ahead and do it. I think that's what I tell people. Of course, it's easy said, like anyone can just give that advice, but then when it actually comes to you, it needs a lot of hard work and patience, and you'll have to keep doing it. Okay, like you can't just say, okay, I have completed this program, so I'm done. It may not be the case, right? You may need to do something else about that. But I think right now the opportunities are also like that. The moment you work hard and you learn something, you also have so many opportunities available. I think right now with this COVID situation, everything is online, and you don't even need to travel, unlike earlier time. So everything, I think it is, in a way, you can look at it as a advantage. Okay, so that's what I keep telling people, that make out that time. So even it's for the women employees or for the men, I personally don't look at it as a gender, or of course women employees need more support from their family. Okay, so that's what we generally look for. And if you have a very supporting family, I think you shouldn't kind of hold back. You should kind of take that plunge, uh, learn whatever you want to do, and kind of change your career, get into something else which is more exciting for you. Okay, and I believe like this digital space and these new age technologies are what is the future. Okay, and we should kind of grab this opportunity before it kind of it gets late. That's my motto personally.
It was truly speaking with you, Kiranmai, and I'm sure many other people find your journey truly motivational, and they can learn a lot from you. And I mean, it's incredible, and I wish you all the success for your next part of the journey. I'm sure a person who's hardworking and driven as you will have a lot of success and victories going forward. It was great speaking to you, Kiranmai.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you for the W Square RT program. And it was great. I explored a lot of things. I made a lot of new friends, and I learned a lot from a lot of mentors. And we had a lot of leaders. We got an opportunity to meet them. So the whole program was, such. It just changed my outlook so much. Okay, and then it helped me so much at that point in my career, like so thank you so much for kind of having these initiatives, and helping people to gain their confidence to learn new skills. And also thanks for giving me this opportunity to kind of just look back and think about my learning journey again. Thank you so much.